So what happened at that time? Water is not a resource for me at that particular point of time. So water is not a resource. We can say that.
No, sir.
So what you will say?
Sir, fresh water is our resource.
Fresh water is our resource. Yes, fresh water is our resource because I am thirsty. I need to drink water. That water should be fresh. Saline water is not a resource for me. That time, a fresh water is a resource for me. Means utility and usability makes substance a resource. Utility and usability of a thing convert a substance into a resource. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Resource, that everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our need. It is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resource. Now here is a very beautiful quote by Gandhiji. Can anyone read what is written?
Sir, may I?
Yes.
There is enough for everyone's need and not for anybody's greed.
uh, what do you understand by that?
So we have lots of things for our need, but not to use in bad way.
Not for use in bad way. Can anyone else can explain?
Sir, may I?
Yes.
Sir, according to our need, it is satisfied, but according to our greed, it will be never satisfied.
Okay. It can be said in that this way also. There is enough things, enough resources available in our surroundings, in our environment, which can fulfill all the needs of the people, which can fulfill all the needs of the people. But the resources which are available in our environment cannot fulfill one person's greed. यानी हमारे आसपास जितने भी रिसोर्सेस अवेलेबल हैं वो सबकी जरूरतों को पूरा करने के लिए काफी हैं, बट किसी एक इंसान की लालच को पूरा करने के लिए काफी नहीं है. दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस कोट. देयर इज इनफ फॉर एवरीवन नीड in our environment but not for anybody's greed. It is said by Mahatma Gandhi. So resource, in this chapter we are going to discuss on the types of resources. Next one we will discuss development of resource, then resource planning, next is land resource, and last one is soil as a resource. We are going to discuss on that. The first one we are going to discuss is type of resources. Previously also we have discussed on this. There are majorly two types of resources. It is there in the PPT also. It is showing on your screen. Can anyone say what are the types of resources?
Natural resource and human resources.
Okay, natural resource and human resources. What are natural resources?
Which is directly get from nature.
Which is directly get from nature, and without much modification we are using that resources. That is natural resource. Human made resource, we are adding,
Which is created by us.
that we are extracting from nature and we are further creating more things from that. That is human made resource. So these two types of resources already we have discussed in our previous classes. That is resource, natural resource and human resource. Further, natural resources are classified into two parts. That is renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources which can be renewed in a short period of time. Non-renewable resources which cannot be renewed in a short period of time. That takes millions of years to renew. Next is renewable resources is further classified into how many parts? Two parts. It is there. That is continuous. Second one is biological. Biological is further classified into two parts. That is natural vegetation and wildlife. Further we will discuss on this types of resources. In this chapter, we are going to discuss on these things only. It is clear, resources, two types, natural resource, human resource. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, there is a slide that is called classification of resources. Resources are further classified into four types. Four types, that is on the basis of origin. Second one, on the basis of exhaustibility. Third one, on the basis of ownership. Fourth one, on the basis of status of development. There are classification of resources. It is very important topic. It is regularly coming in the board exams. So on the basis of origin first, second on the basis of exhaustibility, on the basis of ownership, on the basis of status of development. Here is another presentation on this further to explain in a better way. Classification of resources, that is on the basis of origin. We are going to start with on the basis of origin. Already you know that on the basis of origin, resources are classified into two types, that is biotic resources and abiotic resources. What are biotic resources?
Living things.
Living things.
Living things,
Okay. And abiotic resources,
Which are
non-living
non-living
things.
which are non-living things. Simple. Biotic resources, this are the in biotic resources, the things are living. These are obtained from biosphere and have life. Means living things are included in biotic resources. Examples are there: human beings, flora and fauna, livestock, etc. are the examples of biotic resources. Already we have discussed in previous classes. Just we are repeating that. Abiotic resources, all those things which are composed of non-living things, which are composed of non-living things. Example, rocks and metals, that are biotic and abiotic resources. Next one, it is important, on the basis of exhaustibility. What is exhaustibility? Can anyone say what is exhaustibility?
On the basis that it will exhaust or not.
Okay, means
Or
in future it will be going to be there, or it will get exhausted, khatam ho jaye. So on the basis of exhaustibility, it is divided into two parts, that is renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Already from class 6th you are regularly read that renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources which get renewed in a short period of time, renewed or replenished in a short period of time. Example, solar energy, wind energy, forest and wildlife. So nothing more to discuss on that. Non-renewable resources, these resources occur over a very long geological time. They take millions of years for the formation. For example, fossil fuels we are using, fossil fuels, petroleum, petroleum products we are using. For what purpose we are using? It generates energy. For energy, we are using energy, fossil fuel energy in industries, vehicles, in our houses. If they get exhausted, what will be there? We have to search for alternate source of energy. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Fossil fuels, we have minerals and fossil fuels. Regularly we are using, over exploitation of fossil fuels we are doing, and in future we know that it will going to get exhaust, and fossil fuels, if they get exhausted, it will take millions of years for the formation. Next one is on the basis of ownership. Ownership, maliki ke aadhar par. First two, that is on the basis of origin, on the basis of exhaustibility. It is there are further two classifications were there. On the basis of origin, it was further classified into two parts. What are they?
Biotic and abiotic.
Biotic and abiotic. On the basis of exhaustibility, it is further divided into two parts. What are they?
Renewable and
Renewable and
non-renewable.
non-renewable.
Renewable and non-renewable. Now, on the basis of ownership, it is divided into how many parts? Four parts.
Two.
Four.
Four
Four.
parts. It is divided into four parts. That is, first one is individual resource.
Oh.
Second one is community owned resource. Third one is national resource. Fourth one is international resource. We are going to discuss on that. It is very important now. First two, on the basis of origin, exhaustibility, regularly we have learned in our previous classes. Now, on the basis of ownership, individual resources, which belongs to an individual person. For example, a car belongs to me. That is an individual resource. A plot or a house belongs to a person. That is an individual resource. An agricultural land belongs to a person. That is individual resource. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So individual resource, these are owned by privately by individuals or group of individuals. Means a small company we are going to set up. Personally, there should be a one entrepreneur or a group of entrepreneurs. They can start an industry, or a single or a group of peoples. They owned are known as individual resources. Urban people own plots, houses, and other properties are under individual resources. Example is given here in the PPT. Plantation, pasture land, ponds, water in wells, etc. are termed as individual resources. What is plantation? What is plantation? Can anyone say what is plantation? In 9th class, we have discussed on that, plantation. Natural vegetation and wildlife chapter. Anyone say what is plantation?
Artificial growing of plants.
Artificial growing of plants.
Growing of tea, coffee,
Okay,
rubber.
a single type of tree grown on a large area for commercial purpose, like sugarcane, tea, coffee. Okay, single type of crops grown on a large area are known as plantation. Pasture lands. In the picture, it is there. Pasture land. Where
Land where animals are grazing.
where cattle are grazing, water in wells, etc. are individual resources that are owned by an individual person or group of peoples that are individual resources. Now, second one is community owned resources. Community owned resources means which are owned by a community. Anyone can give example of community owned resources? It is given in the PPT.
Public park,
Public parks, playgrounds,
picnic spots,
Picnic spots,
village ponds,
Village ponds,
etc.
burial
are burial grounds, kabristan जिसे कहते हैं, Samsan Ghat, that
Graveyard.
are yes, graveyards that are owned by a community, which is accessible to the all community members, are community owned resources. No individual is yes, no individual is owning that resource. That is community owned resources, which are accessible by all the members of the community, are community owned resources. Next, national resources. Very important. What are national resources?
National resources are the resources which are owned by country or nations.
Which are owned by country or nation. Okay, the first two resources that we have discussed, that is individual and community owned resources, are are also a part of national resource. Can we say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
because
sir.
every private property can be acquired by the government at any time. That is a national resource. So national resource, technically all the resources belonging to the nation are national resource. Example, all the minerals which are found in the territory of our country. Territory of our country means that physical boundary, it is there also, but in oceanic belt, under the oceans, 200 nautical miles, that is special economic zone, till special economic zone, exclusive economic zone, every resources which are found under the surface of the earth belongs to the nation. Water resources, forests, wildlife, land within the political boundaries, and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles. That is, we will discuss on that. 200 nautical miles and 12 nautical miles. What is the there? Territory of water, water territory of our country. We will discuss on that further. So up to oceanic area up to the 12 nautical miles, the resources which found in the boundary, physical boundary of our country or political boundary of our country, and in the oceans below within 12 nautical miles are considered as national resources. For that resources, for extracting that resources, government doesn't need any country's permission, or any international authorities permission is not required for extracting that resources that belongs to the government. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
National resources which is which belongs to the nation, no need any permission of international authorities for extracting that type of resources are national resources. Next one is international resources. There are international institutions which regulate some resources. The oceanic resources beyond 200, sorry, by mistake I have written 2000, beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic zone belongs to an open ocean, and no individual country can utilize these resources without the consent or permission of international institutions. That are international resources beyond 200 nautical miles in the ocean, in the deep ocean. The resources which are found in the bed of the ocean, under the surface of the ocean, if any country wants to extract, they have to take the permission of the international authorities. Without that permission, without their consent, they cannot extract that type of resources. Here example is given. India has got the right to mine manganese module from the bed of Indian Ocean, from that area which lies beyond the exclusive economic zone. I want to share a video, another presentation. It is there, Word file is there. I'm sharing to know about the exclusive economic zones. 1 minute. India's territorial water extends up to a distance of 12 nautical miles that we have discussed. That is the national resource. Uh, see, it is a land. Here it is a land. 12 nautical miles, that is territorial water. After 12 nautical miles, to another 12 nautical miles means 24 miles, that is contiguous zone. And after that 24 to 200 nautical miles, that is exclusive economic zone of a country. The territorial Jurisdiction extends of territorial water up to the 12 nautical miles from the nearest point of the baseline. Beyond territorial waters is the contiguous zone extending up to 24 nautical miles. Third one, beyond that, up to 200 nautical miles is the exclusive economic zone of our country. There is an image of World Economic Zones in dark blue color. That is 200 nautical miles, means 200 within the 200 nautical miles. That is the resources which are found is given in the dark blue color, can be extracted by the country without taking the permission of international authorities. After the dark blue line, light blue color, if any resources are found, they have to take the permission of the international authorities for extracting minerals or resources from the bed of the earth. Now, there is the difference between the territorial and exclusive economic zone is that the first confirms full sovereignty over the water, whereas second, that is exclusive economic zone, is merely a sovereign right, which refers to the coastal states' rights below the surface of the sea. The contiguous zone is actually a part of a high sea, but the coastal state is given some special rights, special powers over that. And exclusive economic zone is a sea zone prescribed by the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, over which the state has special rights regarding the exploration and use of marine resources, including energy production from water and wind. Now, next one, we are going to discuss on the basis of status of development. It is also a very important topic. Status of development. That it is also classified into further classified into 4 parts. That is potential resources, developed resources, stock, and reserves. It is divided into 4 parts. First one is potential resources. Every one of us have some potential. You have the potential. You are the students. You have the potential to score 100% marks in board exam. Do you have? Everyone have the potential. Yes, we know that everyone have the potential to, they can score 100% marks, but everyone can get without hard working. Without working hard, they can get 100%.
No.
No, for that you have to work hard. 1 minute. Admit. Yes, potential resources. Everyone have the potential to score 100%, but without hard working, we cannot get 100%. 100% in the result. So potential resources, again, that is an example I have given on you. Resources which are found in a region, particular region, the resources which are found but have not been utilized. अभी तक उनको use नहीं किया गया है. Same, I have given an example. You can score 100% marks, but when you work hard, you can work hard, but we are not working. So same thing, resources which are found in a region but have not been utilized. Example, it is given the western part of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, have enormous potential for the development of solar energy and wind energy, but so far we have not been developed properly. Now we all are seeing that in Gujarat, in Kutch region, windmills, wind farms are establishing. Still, they are in the developing mode. There is a lot of scope. From 70 years, now we have started developing the wind farms. So uh, there was a potential 70 years ago also, but we have not utilized that. Now we are developing that. That is a potential resources. We have the potential to score 100%, but without working hard, we cannot score. So potential resources. Understood? Hello. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Developed resources. Next one is developed resources, which have been developed, which we are using in our present. Can anyone give the example of developed resources which we are using in our present situation, present time? Presently, we are using that resources. Any example which is developed, which we know that that is the use of that resources we are extracting and we are fully using? Coals, fossil fuels. We know that how much amount of fossil fuel is available under the surface of the earth and where it is available, uh, till how many years it will be there.
Millions of years.
Millions, it will take millions of years. We know that that is developed resources. Mapping and scanning of that resources is already done by the government. How much amount of resources is available under the surface of the earth is known by us. That is developed resources. Resources which are surveyed and have been determined for utilization. We are using that in present. The development of resources depend upon the technology and the level of their feasibility. Next one is stock. What is a stock? Can anyone say? Stock.
Which is being kept by us, which is being kept at us.
Kept by us. Okay, I'm giving an example on you also. Textbooks, a lot of textbooks are there. You have textbook, you have notebooks, you have reference book, you have PDF, you have internet. Lot of information is available for us. Same example which I have given for the potential. Just I'm extending that example. We have the things, textbook, internet, everything is available, but what we are doing? We are using that? No, it is kept.
No.
We are not using that resources. So that is a stock. You have a reference book, but when you will take that reference book, when exams are there, only at the time of examination you will pick up that book. After that, after examination is over, you will keep that textbooks or reference books or any other material you have at side. That is a stock. Materials which is available in our environment and which have the potential to fulfill human needs, but human beings do not have the technology to access these, are included among stocks. Understood? Example is given. Water.
Yes, sir.
Water is a compound of two inflammable gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen, which can be used as a rich source of energy, but we do not have the required technical or technology know-how to use them for this purpose. That are stocks. Last one is a reserve resource. Reserves. They are the part of a stock, but can be put to use in the near future with the help of existing know-how or the technology. Reserves, we have that resources, we have built that resources, but in current time, in current situation, we are not using that resources. For example, dams we have built up. That is multi-purpose projects we have built up. We are reserving water for our future needs. We can generate electricity, reserve water also used as a irrigation purpose. It can be used in industries. Various scopes are there, but in current situation we are not using that. In future we may use that. Resources are reserve resources. Okay. Till now, classification of resources, how many types are there?
4.
4 types mainly. Can you repeat all the 4 types?
Individual resource, community owned resource, national resource, international resource.
That is ownership, on the basis of ownership. Now read this. Classification of resources. It is 4 types.
On the basis of origin, exhaustibility, ownership, and status of development.
Status of development. On the basis of origin, it is further classified into 2 parts, that is biotic and abiotic resource.
Biotic.
It is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next one, on the basis of exhaustibility, it is further classified into 2 parts, that is renewable and non-renewable.
Non-renewable.
Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Third one is on the basis of ownership, that is
Divided
into 4 parts. What are they? Individual
resource,
second,
community owned resource,
community
resource,
national resource, and
national resource, and international resource.
national and international resource. Okay. Next one, status of development. It is also further classified into 4 parts. That is first one,
Potential resource,
potential resource. Second,
developed resource,
development resource,
developed resource. Third one, stock. And fourth is reserve. Reserve resource. Next, I'm going to show you a video, but actually it is of 6 minutes. I'm starting that if it doesn't end. Just watch the video.
Krishan, use computer audio.
Yes, sir, I'm using that only.
No, computer audio. When you play that video, you have to use fine audio with computer. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Have you ever observed the beauty of our surroundings? The beautiful nature with bright sunlight, magnificent buildings, concrete roads and bridges, vast land, wide oceans, swift rivers, united communities, and of course, last but not the least, human beings. These all are the variety of resources available in our surroundings. Now let me show the various types of resources with the help of a web chart. Resources can be classified into 2 broad divisions. Natural resources, that is, naturally occurring things. Human resources, that is, human-made things. Both the resources are further categorized into many subdivisions based on different bases such as origin, exhaustibility, ownership, and development. Let us identify resources based on the origin. On the basis of origin, resources can be classified into biotic resources and abiotic resources. Biotic resources. Resources which are obtained from biosphere and have life, such as forests, animals, birds, and fish, etc., are called biotic resources. Petroleum and coal are also included in this category as they are formed from decayed organic matter. Abiotic resources. All those things that are composed of non-living things are called abiotic resources. For example, land, water, air, and metals such as gold, iron, copper, silver, etc. Do you know the meaning of exhaustibility? It means to use up or consume completely. On the basis of exhaustibility, resources can be classified into two categories: renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources. These resources are the ones that can be replenished naturally, such as sunlight, wind, etc., which are continuously available for human consumption. Non-renewable resources. These resources take many years to form and are not easily replenished. Minerals and fossil fuels are examples of such resources. Let us discuss the resource types based on the ownership. On the basis of ownership, resources can be classified into four types, which are individual, community, national and international types. Let us look into these resources. Individual resources. Ownership of these resources is under the private hands. Houses, cars, land plots, ponds, etc. are some of the examples of resources owned by individuals. Community resources. There are resources which are accessible to all the members of the community. For example, grazing grounds, public parks, temples, village ponds, etc. National resources. Technically, the country has legal powers to acquire even private property for public purpose. Therefore, all the resources belong to the nation. All the minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife, oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles belong to the nation. International resources. The resources which are regulated by international institution are called international resources. The oceanic resources beyond 200 kilometers of the exclusive economic zone and Antarctica belong to all countries. Have you seen windmill in Rajasthan? Or have you heard about the Mumbai High? These are rich in resources. Rajasthan has vast open land and enough potential to develop large windmill farms, while Mumbai High has enough oil reserve underwater and technologically very sound for drilling petroleum to satisfy human needs. Now the fact is, all these resources are classified on the basis of development. On the basis of development, resources can be categorized into potential, developed, stock and reserves. Potential resources. Resources that are found in nature but not yet used properly are called potential resources. For example, Rajasthan and Gujarat have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy. Developed resources. It refers to the resources which are developed and surveyed for utilization and are being used in present time. For example, petroleum and natural gas is actively being obtained from the Mumbai High. Stock. Resources present in the environment and have the potential to satisfy human needs but not fully accessible due to lack of appropriate technology is known as stock. For example, hydrogen and oxygen are not being used as source of energy due to lack of required technology. Reserves. The resources that can be put in use with the help of existing technology, but their use have not been started. These can be used for meeting future requirements. For example, river water and forest are being utilized only to a limited extent. Hence, no matter what, we should take an oath to conserve our precious resources for our own survival by developing a sustainable earth.
Seen the video, everyone?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to share that PDF of classification of resources in the group, and in next classes further we will discuss on the chapter. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Tomorrow we are. Yes.
You have sent PDF.
That PDF, no, that classification of resources PPT I will going to send in the WhatsApp group. Just go through that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay.